Hi friends, welcome back to Mother's Journey to Holistic Health and Healing. I'm your host, Marissa Prieto. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in today. We are on episode 18, and this is going to be the final episode of our energy healing modalities for optimal health, optimal well-being. It's going to be the final episode for this series, and it's going to be on the power of Reiki. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what that is, what Reiki is, how I got into it and why I got into it, and what you can expect from Reiki if you go to a Reiki session in person or virtually in distance, and the benefits. So just to kind of give you a little introduction to it, I'm going to do my best to hopefully explain it in a way that you will understand. It's a bit hard to kind of explain. I'm just going to try to keep it simple, but really, if you're curious, I would encourage you to have a session, and you can reach out to me because actually your first session is free. So if you are in El Paso and you prefer to do an in-person, I could go to you, or I could also offer you an energy healing distance virtually, right? Through a Zoom, for example. So your first session is free. So yeah, keep that in mind. And that way you get to experience it for yourself, okay? And it's not like one of those, how could I say, one-time thing, you're gonna get a result right away, or, see a big change right away instantly. That may not be the case. So it could take, as far as like how many sessions, because it's something I get asked, so like how many sessions do I need to see a change in this or that? And that really just depends on the individual, on their path, on their learnings, on what comes up. And, it really can shift different directions. And some people, that's kind of like only up to them to kind of answer. It can be ongoing. It can be used as a tool, right, to aid us in restoring our energy and our well-being, restoring our balance, our peace, our harmony. Kind of like if going to like a massage, for example, right? You go to a massage. Some people go weekly, some people go monthly, and it really just depends how often you go, you get the benefits from it. Maybe something similar to acupuncture, acupressure, reflexology, which are also forms of energy healing modalities. But I personally have not done acupuncture or acupressure, and so I can't really speak on that. But, those are also forms of energy healing modalities as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So I guess I should start with what is Reiki, and then I'll dive into why I adopted it as a energy healing modality for myself and to become a practitioner. So Reiki, right, was founded or discovered by Mikao Usui, and this was like in the 1920s. And there's a whole story behind it, but I'm not going to go too much into that. Basically, he went up high into the mountains and like wanted to go on this quest for spirituality to discover his purpose. And he was up there for, I don't know how long he was there, I forget. And he kind of had like this awakening, right? He was coming back down from his quest and kind of like stubbed his toe. Of course, he was up there praying and asking for answers and things like that and insights from the creator or God or whoever he prayed to. And as he was coming back down, he like hurt his foot or his toe or something, and then put his hands there, and he realized that after that it was healed. And once he got to town, and he was just noticing that, people he helped who were sick, he had the ability to heal them. And so little by little, and this could be in terms of like a physical like a sickness, an illness, or anything like that he was able to heal them. And there's different kinds of stories out there. And even till this day, there's lots of stories from people, testimonials that they claim that Reiki has been a big part of their, I don't know if I'd say cure, because everybody's different, right? But just to resolve a lot of symptoms that they were experiencing. And this is not just within the physical body, but this could also be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So Reiki, there can be different names depending on the culture, right? Because what we're doing in Reiki is we are channeling, for example, the practitioner is a channel connecting to the universal life force energy. We're kind of like a channel, and we connect to this universal life force energy through what's called an attunement, right? When we go through a course or a class, but you can learn this on your own. Lots of practice with meditation, and like I said, practice is really, somebody could learn on their own. And this, which is obviously how our ancestors and our different cultures have their own technique, right? It's all the same, similar, because we're all using this similar life force energy from Creator. Excuse me. And so we are just basically the channel. We are using ourselves, a channel, to connect with the universal life force from the Creator, from God. And we are using our hands, this life force energy between our hands, or through whatever runs through our vessel, through our body, through our hands, or in our hands, right? This energy, when we place our hands upon the individual, or this could be, like I said, in distant sessions, because we could also sense the person's energy, even that's distance wise, just by having a picture or a mental picture or anything like that, having the person over the phone, you can have the cameras off, whatever. We have the ability to sense that person's energy and notice for any blockages. And this takes practice, because we're also using our intuition as well. And some other, practitioners, we receive guidance in different ways. So this could be from angels, this could be from spirit guides, this could be from ancestors. We can receive guidance from your own intuition, right, in different forms. And so here is where one of those things of like, you're not necessarily going to see it with your own eyes, okay, kind of thing. You're going to feel it. You may feel it, you may not. And it's one of those things that like I would encourage you to be open-minded, right? To if you want to go to have a Reiki session done, an energy healing done, you want to have an open mind. You want to be open to receiving the energy, because then your body will, you will be able to receive it a lot more authentically, and there will be less resistance. So that's one thing that I would share, is that if there's a lot of resistance or skepticism or anything like that, that might or may kind of get an effect of in the energy healing itself, right? Because there could be some resistance there, and you're not fully surrendering or you're opening yourself to the experience. So the basic definition, or what in Reiki, right, of what it is, for example, Rei is basically just means universal, and Ki is the energy, the life energy. And like I mentioned, different cultures use different words. Like Chinese, they use Qi. In Sanskrit, it's Ti, or Ki in Hawaiian. So there's different words for them. Prana might sound familiar to you. Maybe you've heard it before. Or Ki, or Qi, like I said. Tai Chi or Qigong is another way to also cultivate some of that life force energy. If you're doing that type of practice as well, you may be able to, with these sudden movements that you're moving into, you may be able to tap into some of into the life force energy. So it's basically, again, the universal life force energy from the Creator, from, you want to call him God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is this energy that's all around us, right? And when we tap into this energy, we are able to use it again as this channel to put it on certain areas of the body, wherever we feel called to, where there might be a blockage or where there might be need to be healing. That is where we place our hands again, and then we have guidance to help us know where to go, or what needs attention, what needs healing. So that's what I would say is the kind of a simple definition, I guess. It's like it's like the energy around us that you can't really see, right? But it animates all living things around us, like animals, like the plants, the air, right? It's all the air you cannot see, right? But that's kind of like what you can think of the life force energy of Reiki. So that's just kind of like of the basics of it in a nutshell. Like a simple definition is the universal life force energy from the Creator, from God. And like I mentioned, anybody can learn it, right? Anybody can do it. And it's just, like I said, if you're curious and you're open-minded and it's something that you want to look into as far as using it as whether it's for yourself or for others, I would definitely encourage you to do so, because there's a lot that you can learn from it. It's not just the technique itself. There is a lot more that you can learn from it if you are open-minded, that goes deep into spirituality in terms of like your connection to the creator, the connection to the Mother Earth, the connection to the elements, the just your purpose, more deeper questions that you might have about yourself, about anything in life, really. It's a nice kind of, how could I say, can open up a pathway to deepen, expand on your spiritual health. Okay, so that I feel like has been one of the energy healing tools that's helped me to, actually it was probably one of the first, or I would say second, because yoga's been my first, that helped me tap into my spiritual health. Yoga was my first when I first started practicing back in 2012 or something like that, 2014, I don't remember. But Reiki has been kind of like what's helped keep it rolling. And then it was intuitive movement. And then it was, intuitive music, getting back to song and intuitive singing and getting the drums and the rattles and all that. So all of this is really helping to shape a new definition or what spirituality means to me, as well as going through like my own shadow work and learning about myself and things like that. So that can be another episode on what what spirituality means to you. But back to the Reiki. I started Reiki about 2019, sometime in the fall, maybe late summer, fall. And the reason I started it, so I had I was in a dark place around that time. I got pregnant with a baby boy, and my son was, I guess he was 2. He was 2. And we had got back our tests and shown that he was very sick. His heart was not as it should have been. Like there was just things that were not healthy according to the doctors, and that he would have had a difficult life. So, and as I'm talking about this month is pregnancy awareness, pregnancy loss month, I believe. So I'm talking about this. So I'm remembering my pregnancy losses. And this one was one of the most difficult for me. So, I carried him for a good amount of time. And, well, because it was, I don't remember how many weeks or months I was, but I couldn't have the termination here. I made the most hardest decision to terminate the pregnancy. And that was the most hardest thing for me to do. And just, it was just so, I can't express the pain and the grief and the anger and the guilt and the shame that I had for such a long time. And if you've experienced the same thing, I'm sure you can relate. And so, we traveled to Albuquerque, New Mexico to have the procedure done. It was a very traumatic experience that day. Oh my God, it was crazy. Just a lot that I had to go through. I won't go into details. Maybe that'll be another episode. But anyway, fast after that, I think I started just looking at learning more about healing, self-healing. And I don't remember how exactly it came up. I just remember hearing about it every now and then. I don't remember how or where. But once I had that in my head, I started watching YouTube videos about it and practicing self-reiki, and which I'll take you through a little sample. right now in a minute, towards the end of the episode. And I just started learning about what Reiki was, self-reiki, got a book, started reading the book about it. And at the time, like, I hadn't really fully grasped it because I was very much in my head, my connection to the universe, to source, like my spiritual health, the connection to my spirit, that all was very dim. There was not very much connection there. I was very much in my head. And so I was thinking more like logically, thinking about like, how is this working? Like, how is this gonna heal me? Like, I had a lot of questions, I'm sure just like you do, and a lot of skepticism and doubts and things like that. But with time, little by little, I started to notice things little by little. And so what I noticed was obviously, like, number one of the biggest ones for me was reduce in my anxiety. I noticed that once I would practice, I would feel a little bit more calmer, a little bit more relaxed, more at ease. And so I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I was usually like before bed, or at some point during my work day when I was feeling overwhelmed with the work or anything like that, I would just take a few minutes and trying to really bring it into my day, like my typical day, and trying not to let my tendencies of my all or nothing or more perfectionism tendencies to come into this practice, right? So I was really battling that too, and trying to figure out, my rhythm with it, my relationship with it. And so that was in 2019, right? 2019. So I kept incorporating that into my life, my daily life, and just really felt a lot of the calming benefits to it too, for my anxiety wise. That's the main thing that comes to me right now of why I continue to do it. Okay. And then I was pregnant with my girls, and I was curious into deepening and to getting back to the beginning of the year of 2020. What is it? Actually, it was like 2023 that I got certified as a level 1 practitioner. And this allows you to practice on others, like family or friends. And so level 1. So I went and I tried that, and I got certified in level 1. And I thought, it's going to be a busy year when the girls are born. So the twins are born. So I better get this done before. So still hadn't really fully grasped the concept of Reiki, or hadn't really opened up to it too much. Like, I was doing it because, again, I felt like the physical benefits from it. But that was the main thing. I went and got a Reiki session done or two here and there from here and people in my community, and would feel certain sensations like tingling in certain areas and temperature changes and things like that. I feel tired after, and just different things that I would notice. But once I got pregnant with my daughters, and I had a really hard pregnancy, my practice kind of started to become less and less, because I was so sick. I was so energetically tired, fatigued, and sick that sometimes it was just simple putting my hands on my head or on my face or on my tummy, on my belly, like really just something simple to help connect with my body and to make me feel a bit at ease, to ease my fear. So here's where I think it really helped me emotionally and mentally, was through not just the mindset of my pregnancy I was having, but yeah, it really helped me with my emotional and mental health, because I had a lot of fears about my pregnancy with my girls. It was very high risk. And so for me, praying and coming to Reiki, if it was just for a few minutes, helped me remind myself that things are okay, things are going to be okay. And so because of that, right, I was able to get through the pregnancy well, still take care of myself, still take some time to practice self-reiki, to manage my anxiety, to like all those things, right? And I was able to get through the pregnancy, and they were healthy. They were healthy, and born to full term. So after they were born, and I think they were, I'm going to say this has barely been, June or July of this year, I felt called to get the second level done. So I went and got the second level done. And this time, I think because early in the year, I had already started deepening my practices in terms of like my spiritual practices, with deepening my prayer, deepening my meditation practice, deepening my yoga practice. So really being more consistent with that, really starting to notice a stronger connection to my spirit, to Creator, to the elements, to Mother Earth, because I was starting to slow down and be more intentional, creating rituals, creating practices that really hit me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, like all the things that I talk about, right, when I'm talking about a holistic approach to health. And so once I started this and really working on my spiritual practices in the beginning of this year, it kind of just took off, and things started to really align. A lot of things started to align in terms of, I don't know, just things within myself that I was working on. And for example, I'll tell you, movement, right? I was always like very heavy on, I have to move every day. I got to do this. I got to lift the weights. I got to do this, and that, which I was always in my masculine energy, and realizing that I needed my body, my spirit wanted to move more into the feminine energy of more rest, of more slowing down, stillness for meditation. And so I realized that and started putting more attention to more gentle movement, walks, yoga, and less intense physical activity like the weights, which I still do, but just not as much. And so then this started to deepen and deepen, and things, I just kept expanding for me spiritually. And and so then I started to right away offer them to, first I started offering to my parents, my family, and my dad had some pretty significant benefits. My dad, he had mouth cancer and last year, and went through a very massive procedure. And so he's still recovering from that procedure, and mentally, emotionally, right, spiritually, physically. And Reiki and all the other tools that I've been able to bring into my Reiki session, not just the energy healing on the hands, but bringing in aromatherapy, bringing in crystal healing, bringing in music, singing, that has also been helpful for him and others that I've been working with. So I can see the difference after of there's just a shift in his energy of being kind of dim, kind of fatigued, kind of low, kind of heavy, to a lighter, more energetic, more optimistic, like if his life force has been replenished within him, and a more passion for being alive. So each Reiki session is different. And depending on the person, like you may not always experience something, right? In a Reiki session, what typically happens, so here's what happens in a Reiki session. If you're going in person, you're going to lay on a massage table. You are encouraged to just relax and breathe. Usually I take my clients through a little visualization and guided meditation to help them relax from a busy day, busy mind. I have incense. I have a clearing that I do to clear the area, to clear your energy, your aura. I scan your body for any blockages. And then the Reiki begins wherever I feel guided to lay the hands, the energy. And we always want to set an intention, a prayer, which is what I encourage the client to do as well. And then we begin the session, which could be about typically 45 minutes and 60 minutes in between that time frame. So and so during that time, I encourage the individual to keep focusing on feeling relaxed, on first noticing the breath and just kind of releasing and surrendering, feeling open to receive the energy. And that they may or may not feel something during the session. So some people may not feel anything. Some people might doze off. Some people may see different colors of light, different colors. Some people might get visions. Like my mom, for instance, she had a vision of her feet being in the sand, and not just the sand, but like the beachy kind of sand. And my dad had visions of being out in the forest and, seeing an eagle pass by. Like there's different types of messages that maybe your ancestors, your spirit guide, your animal guide, whoever will come to send you if it's that time for you. So whatever, this is important to note, you will get whatever you need for that session. So as we are providing the healing energy, the Reiki, yes, we're moving it to certain areas where we're moving maybe blockages from what we call the chakras, right? Your energy centers, like your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart space, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your root chakra, your sacral chakra. And those all have different representations, right? Or certain areas of your body, like maybe it's your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, anything like that. Maybe you have certain arthritis or pains. Like we'll sense something with whatever blockages or whatever needs healing, and that's where we provide the healing. But essentially also, the Reiki will heal what it needs to do. Maybe it will be something in your psyche, in your mind, like an emotional, a mental wound or a trauma or something emotional that needs to be released. Maybe it's a limited belief, self-doubt, right? There could be so many things. And you just, us as a practitioner, that's kind of the thing, is we have to have kind of like this surrender to trusting to the life force energy that the client is going to get whatever the client is going to need in that session for their highest and greatest good. So they're going to get what they're going to get that day. And we won't necessarily know, right? And unless the client shares, or maybe later on down the road, they're like, a few days later, they share how they had an emotional release, they had a trigger and something came up and then they felt better, right? So it really just varies, not always is a person going to feel completely free, like off, like no anxiety or stress. Like there's going to be different things. Another thing my mom experiences is she feels always a lightness afterwards. Like she always feels heavy before, and when she's done, she feels like something was just taken off from her. She feels like a lightness. So you could feel tingling in certain areas of your body as the energy is moving. You could feel a temperature change in certain areas. And it really will just depend. And some people may not feel anything. So you could have visions, you could see different colors, you could feel tingling, you could feel temperature changes, and may not feel anything. And if you don't feel anything, it doesn't mean that it's not working, right? Or that you didn't get anything. I think if you just kind of stay open to it, because that's what I used to think, like I didn't feel anything, what's going on? It's like, did it work? And we just kind of got to that's like our mindset, right? We want to see the results right away. But if we just be patient and open and trust it that, it's going to do what it needs to do. What's going to heal whatever needs to be healed, and whatever that looks like for you. So being patient with that, and it kind of just being aware, this is what I share with my clients, that throughout the next couple of days, to stay hydrated, to eat nourishing foods as best as they can, to move their body gently or whatever feels good for them, and to just make note of anything that comes up, whether it's thoughts, beliefs, a trigger, something emotional, like, I don't know, maybe like anger or something that really just comes out and you're like, oh, that's weird, like synchronicities, or, and you can trust that that's probably the Reiki working, doing its work in just mysterious ways. So that's a bit how I can share like how it works. Like we don't know how it works. We're just trusting that it does. Okay. And you don't know until you experience it. So I would urge you to experience it. Like, what are you waiting for? Go experience it. Book a session with me. Remember, you get your first session for free. You can reach out to me, send me an email, DM me on Instagram, and we can schedule your virtual session for free. And what else can I say about Reiki? The benefits, right? Because there's different kinds of benefits from it. Well, obviously, like we talked about, it can help with improved mental clarity and focus. You could leave feeling a little bit more clear-minded, right? Because of the busyness of the mind. It's kind of like a form of meditation. Like you start to quiet the mind a bit. And so you leave a bit more with more mental clarity. The emotional healing, again, is another benefit from it. Like when we hold on to maybe old wounds, trauma, certain experiences that we don't process, whatever like heavy emotions were included, and we like hold on to it, we don't process it. That might be something that needs to be healing. Like my example in the termination of the pregnancy, I grieved, but there was still emotional baggage there. And so it's still taken me years and years to release that, release that wound and to forgive myself. So increased energy and vitality, like I said, your life, it's your life force. And so when we are putting this energetic life force over your body, into your hands, into your aura, to your body, it will revitalize you. You might feel more energized. On the contrary, some people feel a bit more tired or drained. So this is just whatever purging maybe your body is going through. You might feel a bit more sense of like balance or harmony, or more at peace. Can also help with boosting your immune system. Can help you with your overall quality of sleep. And remember, it's not like it's a one session's going to fix it all, right? It would be over continuous sessions to where you would start to feel the benefits, like the sleep example, right? Not just like I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, one session's not just going to give you like the best sleep, right? You've got to have it periodically. And that will just depend on the person, obviously, on how often they want to receive it. Greater spiritual connection, greater spiritual growth, which can also enhance and improve your overall sense of well-being, connection to yourself, to the world, to creator, to whomever, right? The planet. And enhancing maybe even your relationships as well, right? Because as you get the healing, it also helps you with, over time, expanding your self-awareness. And as you expand your self-awareness, you're able to tune into certain things that maybe are lacking in your life, that need more attention, like maybe your marriage, or maybe like the intimacy you have together, or the lack of it, or maybe lack of communication with people at your work or your friendships, right? So you're given what you need to in terms of the medicine, quote unquote, the medicine, to help you get better, to help you heal, to help you expand and improve your sense of well-being. So I hope that helps and makes sense. That maybe I'll do a separate podcast on like rituals, like energetic cleansing that you could do on your end, at home, right? Like, for example, burning sage and smudging herbs around you, and setting a prayer, right? Which is one that I've talked about a lot. Different things you could do to help clear your energy, and just saying a prayer itself could be helpful, to tapping into that energy and to releasing any heavy weight or energy that you want to release. So now I'm going to just take you through a little brief exercise for yourself to try out. And I'd like you to be in a comfortable position, so preferably sitting up with a tall spine, tall posture, rolling your shoulders up and back. We're going to start by just taking some slow, deep, conscious breaths, belly breaths. Inhaling for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts. When you inhale, pause for 1 second, hold it, and then release. Let's do that a couple more times. And sigh it out. Make your sigh as loud as you want it to be, to just release and let it go. Inhale. Just starting to tap into our body, into our breath, to being present in this moment. Noticing any sounds around you. Noticing the fabric over your skin, your feet, the touch of the ground beneath you, the seat supporting you, the air flowing in and out of your nostrils. Checking into your physical body. Can you notice any tension anywhere? Any discomfort, any pain, anywhere in your body? Headache or facial muscles or neck, shoulders, back, hips, knees, legs, feet, hands. Just really kind of tap into that. Give yourself a moment to see if you're feeling any discomfort, or maybe you're feeling pretty good today. Just to notice. Checking in with your emotions. How are you feeling today emotionally? How are you feeling mentally? How have your thoughts been lately? How's your self-talk been? How have your thoughts been? Your mindset. Okay. Continuing to deepen your breath. With every breath, you're getting lighter and lighter and more relaxed. Letting go the to-do list. Anytime a thought comes in, just putting it away in a box for later. I want you to visualize this bright white light right above you, and it's expanding above your crown of your head, moving up all the way up through your roof, through your ceiling, out of your home, up into the air, up into the sky, all the way up, out into the planet, out into the atmosphere, out into space, out through the galaxies and the vast, vast universe. All the way till you receive this, see this bright, limitless, this infinite light source, and connecting with that energy. It's healing, it's loving, it's compassionate, it's patient. Really just feeling that and visualizing this connection to this universal life force energy. And you're coming back down. The energy is just flowing through you, down from the universe, through the galaxies, through the planet, through the sky, through your home, your ceiling, back in through you. And it's moving down through your body, creating a bubble of light around you, scanning down your body from your head, your face, your back, neck, shoulders, waist, hips, legs, knees, back of the legs, feet, everything. You're just submerged in this healing light, and it's moving down now into the earth, to the core of the earth. Putting your hand on your heart, feeling the energy of your heart. The beating of your heart is the beating heart of the Mother Earth. Next, I'd like you to open your hands out in front of you, kind of like you're holding a bowl, like a medium-sized bowl out in front of you, like you're opening to receive. Palms are facing upwards, keeping your eyes closed down. Take in some several deep breaths here. Continue to imagine that you're bathed into this energy, this healing light. You have your hands, your palms up, open to receive. See if you can feel anything or visualize here in between your hands this light. What color is it for you? Visualize a light between your hands, almost like a ball a ball of light. See what you feel. See what you notice. Does it feel like that sensation of when your hands fall asleep, your feet? Does it feel tingling? Do you feel throbbing, pulsating, tingling? Do you feel warmth? Notice what you feel. Can you move your hands together and pull them back apart? Do you notice what you feel? Do you feel the warmth? And now I want you to recall that certain area of your body that made you feel tense, or maybe it's a busy mind. Where do you want to place this healing energy to? Where do you want it to go? Do you want it to go to your busy mind so that you could be a bit more clear-minded and more relaxed and a more quiet mind? And do you want it to relieve the tension from your shoulders or from your heart? Is there anything that's weighing you down in your heart? Do you want it to go to your solar plexus because maybe you've been having some self-doubt about things or feeling insecure about something? Or maybe in your root and sacral chakra, and you've been feeling maybe not feeling safe about something, or feeling like there's been some financial struggles and not feeling secure and financially. Where is it in your body that you might need some healing? Place your hands there now. Focusing on your breath. What do you see? What do you visualize? Is there anything coming up for you? Any visions? Any thoughts? Any emotions? And there's nothing, it's okay. Just focus on the healing that you're creating. Have your intention. Focus on your intention. And when you're ready, you can put your hands down. Thanking yourself for this moment, thanking the universal light force energy. Thank you. And you can gently open your eyes when you feel ready. And welcome back. So how did you feel after that? What came up for you? Or was it kind of just quiet? Nothing came up, right? This is just a little taste of self-reiki. And if you are curious and you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Again, like I said, your first session is free virtually. That's going to be kind of like the free offering, so you can get an experience of what it feels like. So I hope you found that helpful, friends, and you start to get more curious about it and putting it into your day, especially when you feel tired, you feel overwhelmed, you need a quick dose of energy or peace or calm. Remember, you can develop this tool and it's free. Focus on your breath, focus on the life force, the light above us, and just take that time to quiet down and be still. Visualize it and begin your self-healing. And that's all it is. And to really have faith in it, to have faith and belief in it, because I think those are also important things to integrate into the practice as well. All right, friends, that's it for today. I thank you so much for your time and listening today. I look forward to hearing from you and your experiences. I'll catch y'all next time.